Hey yo, hey, Saturday. I'm looking for a new introduction to start it different. Saturday, 6/11/2016. There's a laundry list of stuff I want to go through here because things are happening and progressing so fast on the planet I can't keep up. So, on to the information. Saudi update. I keep hearing major, big, something huge coming out of Saudi Arabia. I don't know what it is. I don't know the specific details, but just keep your eyes and ears open and be aware. Okay, I want to get back to Fulford on his last post. Fulford posts a part that's accessible to the public, and then there's a private section. I don't belong to his membership service, so I have to wait for the private stuff to come out. There's a guy that publishes it, but it's very interesting because he talks about the Panama Papers and my intel sources, and it was I was the first intel source out on the Panama Papers, being from the Alliance and Putin positive groups. There was one other guy that did an article on that, and then Zero Hedge questioned it, saying, "Oh, well, does this make sense?" Because they had a guy that was saying that exact same thing. Now, a few months down the road, and all of the intel soaks out to different sources, now Fulford's talking about it. And this is what he posted in the private section, now public, about the Panama Papers. This is what he said. He said, "These moves are part of an ongoing campaign to finish off the Nazi faction of the Khazarian mob. Multiple sources agree," okay? And that's what we're down to. After the takedown initially in 2012, which started the ball rolling, this is what we're finalizing into, this last little rogue group, Khazarian Nazis, neocons. Fulford goes on to say, "The Panama paper leaks and the shutting down of offshore tax havens has already dealt a huge blow to them." Right. Correct. So he's saying, in other words, that it came from the Alliance, and it came from sources against this last faction. Didn't come from Soros, is what he's saying. So I wanted to air that out, because sometimes when you release intel, there's nothing to counterbalance it with. There's no one else to corroborate with. You just have to go with what you hear. And later down the road, the intel comes out from other sources, and that's the case here. Okay, another thing. If you guys are newer to the channel, which there are a lot of newer subscribers, you guys might not be aware of the fact that starting a few years ago, I started to see just swarms of UFOs. Later, I met what I have termed space humans, which I believe these individuals are people from other planets. And there's been an intel swap, not really a swap, but they've given me intel over those 2 years, and I continue to see, which has been highly accurate, and I continue to see more and more of these ships. In fact, I mentioned the last silver ship that I saw was probably about a month ago. I saw that same silver ship again a few weeks ago in the same location. It was off in the distance a little bit more. But in addition to that, this is the first time I've ever seen a craft that's gold. I actually saw a craft that was gold. And I'm not saying it's made out of gold. It emanates a gold-colored light. And from what I understand, some of these ships, because there's all kinds of different makes and models of these ships, just like we have different makes and models of cars here. You know, you got domestic, you got foreign, you got compact, you got trucks, you got commercial diesel trucks, etc., etc., etc. It's the same way with the ships. There's all kinds of different ships from different factions and different groups. And what I've heard that some of these ships, when they displace energy, their drives, how they push themselves through space, it emanates in certain circumstances a lot of energy, and that energy comes out as light. That's why a lot of times when you see UFOs and they're standing still and they're glowing, that's just the discharge of the energy. This is the first one that I've seen which was a golden bright light. And I mean, it was funny because I wasn't even looking for it. I wasn't even trying to pay attention to it. I just haphazardly was sitting down and I noticed something outside, and I went to look for the thing that I was looking for, and then I actually saw the UFO, which I wasn't looking for. And I was like, oh wow, that's cool. And it was a bright, glowing, hovered for a little while, then it escalated. or elevated itself slowly, and then it was gone. What I take from that, first time I've seen a gold UFO, I'm taking that it hit me as it's the capstone of the pyramid. And I don't really want to, get you guys confused and using the pyramid as like an Illuminati symbol, but the Illuminati steal symbols from people that originally set the symbol up in a positive manner, okay? Like the number 13. There's nothing evil about the number 13, but the Illuminati hijacked it and took it and twisted it around for their purposes. So what I look at is this pyramid capstone, which the Pyramid of Giza originally had a gold capstone, solid gold capstone. This was a solid gold light. I think that we're really getting to the peak, the crescendo, the cusp, the paramount days before the new system starts to really become apparent to the masses. That's what I think it represents. That's what I'm gathering from it. That's how I interpreted it. Because sometimes you get these messages, some of them are very deliberate and to a T say exactly in black and white what is going to happen and what you should be aware of. Sometimes it's a little more vague and you have to interpret it. This is how I'm interpreting it. And in addition to that, just to see a gold UFO, and I've never seen one before like that, that's cool. That's something to notice, that's something to mark, that's something to pay attention to. Just in and of itself, how unique and different that is. I thought it was cool. Okay, let me go through China attack. You guys know I've been talking about it on Disinfowars. You know I've been doing videos on it, or a video on it. But now we see that standing deliveries at the COMEX, silver and gold, are exceeding all previous amounts of delivery statistics. Okay, it's the Chinese. That's, I'm telling you, multi-pronged attack. That's one more facet of the attack. And I expect severe repercussions because of the numbers that they have to deliver, or expecting to deliver. Okay, now these numbers for delivery apparently have never been this high. They've never been this demonstrable. They've never been this huge. So we'll have to look at June, July, especially coming up very close. Also, I don't know if, I know they've devalued the yuan several times. I don't know if they're going to devalue it anymore, but that's certainly on the table to do. Also, as I mentioned in Disinfowars, did you guys notice the price of Bitcoin? Right after I released the USV China video, did you notice that? The price went from $435, now it's trading at $585. That was just a couple of weeks ago. Very stellar performance, very rocket ship-like ride on that. I think it's the Chinese also, coordinated attack. Because what happens is that when Bitcoin rises, it gets a lot of attention and it changes the perceptions of investors in general globally. Then they pour into it and they get out of currencies, out of treasuries, out of the stock market. Do you see how the Chinese are rebalancing the scale? Okay. I believe that the Chinese in this multi-pronged attack are going to attack the United States real estate market, or Western real estate markets, and this is what they're going to do. If you study real estate, especially in the high end in the United States, major cities, it's huge amounts of Chinese buying. Most of the civilian United States, native United States residents, they're not buying a whole lot. No. It's predominantly Chinese buying. I think that the Chinese are going to stop buying. The Chinese stop buying in the real estate market in the United States, it's done, it's over. Prices are going to drop, prices are going to fall precipitously because they dominate the market in purchases. So look for that. Also, I think the Chinese are going to stop shipping products to the United States unless they get hard currency or assets in trade. For example, I don't know if many of you know, but remember the Cash for Clunkers program where the United States government was just buying cars and then junking them? And everybody was saying, why would you take a perfectly good $5,000 or $6,000 car and junk it, pay the owner so they can go and buy a new car, and you're pouring acid on the engine block so there's no way anybody can pick parts off it, then you're crushing it, and then you're selling it? What's really going on here? That was a Chinese program. The Chinese tested it. They told the United States government, we don't want your dollars anymore. We want hard assets, something tangible, something real. And so the United States government came up with cash for clunkers. All those cars got scrapped and were sent to China. And again, I've said before to you guys, the Chinese test some more, retest, then they wait. And they wait and they wait and they wait and they wait until the time to take that process and instrument it into their plan. And now I think that's what they're going to do. I think they're going to stop shipping products to America because due to the fact that they're going to ask for tangible assets. What those tangible assets are, I do not know. But that is going to decrease the amount of shipping even more than it is right now. And don't be surprised if you start to see more gaps on the shelves in certain retail conglomerate establishments. Walmart, Target, the big chain stores. You know what they are in your area. Also, Silver Eagle program. Apparently, the United States Mint is going back to non-allocated no rations. I think the reason why they're doing this, because the Silver Eagle program has been allocated for a long time, which means it's been limited. You only get a certain amount of coins. I think the reason why they're going back to non-allocated, as many coins as you want, is because they know that the markets are going to crash in the next little bit here. So it doesn't matter if they, sell a lot of Eagles. It doesn't matter. That's what I think the direction is. Because remember, I heard some crazy rumors, you guys know about it, a few months ago that the rumor is that they're going to curtail the Silver Eagle program in the United States and they're going to shut off the Canadian Silver Maple program in Canada. So I don't know, it's just rumor, but I think this is very interesting. The United States Mint would go from allocated Silver Eagles to non-allocated Silver Eagles, and the demand is through the roof. And you can hear that from a lot of different retailers and wholesalers. Hoffman and Miles Franklin, Silver Doctors, those guys talk about Eric Dubin and what's the name of the other guy? I don't know, some other guy. They talk about all the time. They talk to retailers, wholesalers in the market. I think V was also saying, the Guerrilla Economist, he was saying that there's absolutely no silver out there. You can't get your hands on quantity. So I think it's very funny that the United States Mint would go to non-allocated. So just keep your eyes and ears on that also. And I think that's it for today. As far as the bullet points. What I want to express though, guys, and it's very important, to me at least, just make sure you're aware of all these things and be aware of the fact that whatever the media tells you, MSM, don't believe a word they're saying. I saw Peter Schiff get in an argument with the guys on Fast Talk or Cross Money or one of these shows. Seymour's the guy's name. What a prick. If you ever see the interview, I'll see if I can find a link. This punk Seymour is he's got his head so far up the ass of the frickin' Illuminati that he cannot do anything else except lie and attack, lie and attack, lie, attack, with garbage, junk information. And I really applaud Peter Schiff for being composed when he was on the show. I might have taken a different approach if I was there. I probably would have been a little bit more verbal and a little less calm than Schiff, but I think that Schiff did a very good job. I'll see if I can find a link. I'll put it in the bottom of the video for you guys to take a look at. And that's it. 6/11. One short of 7/11. 2016. Thanks, guys. Have a good weekend.